shows being engaged in community is one of the biggest factors in slowing the progression of dementia, but it's estimated 85% of people diagnosed are not receiving the support that they need. Now, a BC-based group of people living with dementia has created a guide to encourage others living with the disease to come together and make changes in their community. Joining us this morning with more is UBC nursing professor Dr. Alison Phinney and Jim Mann, who has been living with dementia for 17 years, who both worked on the guide. Good morning to you both. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
So Jim, we'll start with you.
Sure.
You were diagnosed, as we mentioned, in 2017. What inspired you to be a part of this group, to create this action plan? What inspired you to be a part of this?
Well, I supported Alison and Dr. Deb O'Connor with the initial application for funding. And so the three of us have led the research, but there was the idea of a group of people with dementia the action group who really developed the toolkit and the guide as part of the research project, and that was exciting and really would show a lot of people that there's a journey involved after a diagnosis, and you're able to contribute as the action group did.
Dr. Phinney, tell us a little bit more about the action plan that's in place and why it was important to get the input from people who are living with dementia.
Oh, absolutely. So I've been working with a research team for some time, and with this project, we really have done it differently by connecting with people living with dementia to hear from them what was most important. And we heard it loud and clear that they really wanted to push back against the discrimination, the stereotypes they were facing, and to be more included in their communities. So we developed together a toolkit, flippingstigma.com, and it's been hugely successful, I think more than we might have imagined. Here in BC and around the World Health Organization has recognized it as a leading tool for promoting inclusion. But then the group, in this last year of the project, stopped and said, we don't want this to end here. We know that other people can do this too. So that's how we've come up with this beautiful guide. Jim's got it there.
Jim,
yeah, we brought the book that really shows, it tells the story of the group, but more than that is telling other people that you can do this too.
I'm curious to know about the stigma around people living with dementia. And Jim, you could probably speak to this. What have you experienced since your diagnosis and since you've been living with dementia that has been different? How are you treated differently among people you know?
Well, there is the experience of friends really moving away from you, but there's also the like sitting in a doctor's office, as an example, with an individual's partner and finding the doctor talking to the caregiver and not to the person with dementia. There are lots of examples where people assume, bam, just overnight you have that diagnosis, and well, we'll deal with somebody else. And it's everywhere.
Yeah. And it must be extremely difficult to be in that circumstance.
It's frustrating.
Oh, I can imagine. So with this project, with this toolkit, and Jim, maybe just like turn it around and hold it right up just like that. Just hold it there for a second so we get a shot of it. So Dr. Phinney, what is this toolkit? How does this work then?
So it's online and it's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
And it provides some of the background. It tells the story of who created the work. So we can empathize, we know whose work this is. And it provides some simple sort of step-by-step things to be thinking about. So it's telling people, do you have an idea? Do you have a concern, a change that you want to see? Find some other people to talk about this with. Find a champion. So it kind of breaks down the complexity of the work in a way that I think is very practical, but also quite inspiring.
I think it's fascinating. And I think it really speaks to the fact that Jim, that you pointed out that just because you have a dementia diagnosis, it doesn't mean that life ends for you. You're still part of the society and you still want to be a part of people's lives. And this is a toolkit to help people be able to do that. So thank you, both of you, for joining us this morning and telling us about it, Dr. Phinney and Jim Mann. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, Christina joins us now with the look at traffic. I just love